Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Spence here with Core 4x4. Now if you've been watching the series on the XJ here, we have been lifting it. It's at 4 inches. We did a long arm kit, we did the WJ knuckle swap, and now I'm going to show you one of my favorite mods on the Jeep Cherokee XJ. If you've lifted your Jeep, you know that as soon as you get above 3 inches, you can start having driveline problems in the rear end. That slip yoke on the back of your transfer case can cause some of the issues just with binding and vibrations. So instead of doing a transfer case drop or a slip yoke eliminator kit, I'm going to show you, like I said, my favorite upgrade, which is a hack and tap. Now, if you don't know what that is, or if you've never done it, it's the poor man's slip yoke eliminator kit. And I love this upgrade because you can just take a junkyard front drive shaft and bolt it on your rear. You get the double cardan, you get the slip yoke moved down towards the differential, and you get the performance of the slip yoke kit without paying all the money, without taking apart your transfer case or worrying about all that mess. Okay, so the kit we're using today is a kit from Iron Rock Off-Road. It is an awesome kit. There's a couple different ways to do it. This kit I prefer because, like I said, you don't have to get a custom driveline made. You can just use an XJ front driveline and bolt it in the rear. So it keeps it relatively cheap and gives you the benefit of the double cardan and the slip yoke being at the pumpkin. So we'll link the kit in the description below so you can check it out. I did opt for the drilling guide on here. This is optional, as well as the drill and taps. If you have your own drills and taps, you can use them, and if you're confident in your drilling ability, you don't need this. But this is an awesome, cost-effective way to fix rear driveline problems. And in this video, we'll show you how to do the hack and tap. There is some cutting, there is some drilling, but it's all pretty straightforward, really easy to install. You can do it in your driveway, and we'll show you how to do that now. All right, so here we are under the Jeep. A few things I wanted to mention before we really got into the install is that the way we're doing the hack and tap today only works because we have the 231 transfer case. If you have the 241, you will need the seal kit from Iron Rock. Another reason I love this kit is they have great instructions. They provide all the tools if you want to order them. But on this kit, because we have the 231 and because it's an XJ, we can do it with the front drive shaft. If you want to do it on a WJ, a ZJ, or a TJ, you will need a custom drive shaft made. On the WJ and ZJ, it is a hardened shaft in the transfer case, so it's a little harder to cut through, a little harder to drill, but you can do it. But for this XJ at 4.5 inches of lift, this is a great mod. Basically, running through it, we're going to take the driveline off here. You just got to unbolt your pinion yoke here, and then this will slide right out. Then we need to set the Jeep back on the ground because we need to measure for our cut at ride height. And we'll walk you through all of that once we get it back on the ground. But for now, we're just gonna get the drive shaft off, then we'll set it back down to measure. So if you've never had your rear driveline off, I highly recommend using some sort of penetrating fluid. We sprayed some Freol on this, but if you snap one of these bolts, you're gonna be drilling and tapping even more than the hack and tap. So always use penetrating fluid on your old rusted bolts. These are an 8mm socket, so it's a tiny bolt. It's really easy to snap, much like we did on our shock mount bolts in the other video. Before we get the drive shaft all the way off, I did want to mention this is the problem area we're addressing. This is your slip yoke here, and when you start lifting your Jeep, this angle gets more drastic, as you see here, especially when you're flexing out. This can cause wear and tear right here. It can also cause binding when you're flexing off-road, and even vibrations on the freeway at high speed. So we're gonna address this with the hack and tap, but I kind of wanted to show you how this has a kink in it before we took the old driveline off. So it is easier to break the bolts loose with your transfer case engaged. We're gonna do this on the ground, but when you're drooped out, it's really hard to get out all the bolts. Also, point of note, you wanna save your pinion straps and bolts because we will reuse these when we go to put the new driveline in. There we go. All right, now we're going to get into measuring for the actual hack and tap. And the reason it's called a hack and tap is because we're literally going to just cut the end of the output shaft here and drill and tap a new hole. So we're going to hack it off and we're going to tap it. And the reason we need to do that is we need to get the yoke a little farther up in order to use that front drive shaft effectively. So we need to leave at least 1.25 inches of spline if you're doing this on any other vehicle. But when we get it on the ground at ride height, we're gonna measure from our pinion to the shaft and give us a mark to cut. And then we'll put it back up in the air and we'll cut it off flat. Now when you're cutting, you wanna make sure you're as flat as possible. So when you go to drill, you can get on center and you can drill straight. That's the real trick to this kit, is getting a good straight cut and then drilling straight. But if you use the drill jig, that should make it a lot easier. Last thing I want to mention, if you are going to do a hack and tap like we're doing here on this XJ, you do need at least 4 inches of lift in order to use that front drive line. If you don't have 4 inches of lift and you want to do it lower, it's really not necessary, but you can get a custom drive line made to work with this hack and tap. But to do it as we're doing, you need at least 4 inches of lift for everything to work effectively. Now that we're back under the Jeep, on the ground, under the weight of the vehicle, we can start doing our measurements. Now, a few things I wanted to mention is at 4 inches of lift, you're really pushing, the limits of using the hack and tap. You really want to be about 4.5 or above, because what happens is your driveline is going to be fully compressed at ride height. Also, our long arm kit has a bit of a transfer case drop built into it, so we might end up spacing that up in order to effectively use this kit, because it is designed to be used with a factory cross member with no transfer case drop and at least 4.5 inches of lift. So I wanted to mention that before we get too far into this. Now, when measuring, you do want your pinion yoke parallel to the ground, and we're not quite there, but this will be close enough for our purposes. And you're going to be measuring from the center of the U-joint or from these flat surfaces to your output shaft. Now that measurement, if you're using a factory front driveline, is 33 3/4 inches, and there's about 3/4 inches of variance you can have on that. You do want to maintain at least 1.25 inches of splines after you cut. So that is the minimum amount of splines you need in order for this kit to be installed correctly. If you need to adjust your measurement from that 33 3/4 to meet that, that's okay. So for our setup and our use, because we are at 4 inches of lift and we have a bit of a transfer case drop, we're just going to go off the minimum spline measurement, which is the 1.25 inches here. But if you're above 4.5 inches and you have a factory cross member, you can follow the instructions and do 33 3/4 plus or minus while maintaining that 1.25 inches of splines. So we've got it marked out. We're going to put it back in the air and we're going to get to cutting. Now that we've got the cutting done and we're mostly straight, like I said, that's the biggest trick to doing this, is try to get your cut as straight as possible, especially if you don't get the drill jig. You can always use a punch to get lined up on the drill, but having that jig really helps you keep center on the shaft. But now that's cut off, we're gonna clean up the output shaft and the splines just so our new yoke can go on easily and we can test fit and check everything. For our particular setup, I went ahead and trimmed back this yoke because we had to cut the shaft so far back that we had the minimum 1.25 inches of splines. The plate of the yoke wasn't quite seating up against the end of the shaft. Actually, cutting this back lets us slip this yoke another 3/4 inch towards the transfer case, which gives us more room for our driveline. Like I mentioned before, we already have a drop in our long arm kit, and we're only at 4 inches of lift, so having this extra room is really going to make this work really well for our setup. So now we're going to get to drilling. Now if you don't have the drill guide from the kit, you can just put the yoke up on to the shaft and mark right here with a Sharpie, and then you're going to go ahead and use a punch and a hammer. We'll do that anyways, even though we're going to use the drill guide just to help line up. Now if you're doing it without the drill guide, it's just really important to match the angle of the output shaft with your drill and get as straight as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just bolts together and goes together more seamlessly if your hole is drilled more in line with your output shaft. And then when we go to tap it, everything taps straight and bolts up straight. I highly recommend the drill guide, but if you don't want to use it, you can use a hammer and a punch and line up the best you can. I've done it both ways, it works, it goes together. But we will show you both ways right now. Okay, so we got it all drilled. I didn't mention depth. The kit calls for about 1.125", and we did a depth check, and we're about 1.5 inches, and that's all right. We didn't have any cutting fluid, so we just used some WD-40, but use some sort of coolant on your drill bit so you don't burn it out. We're just gonna come in with a larger drill bit now and put a little bit of a taper on the hole to help us when we tap, to get lined up and to make sure everything goes in straight. So we're gonna do that now. If you're confident in your drill lineup and whatnot, you can run a drill to tap it. Just go real slow and make sure you're not cross-threaded when you're lining up. I would recommend using a socket, or if you have a tap kit that has that little tool, that's the best way to get squared and lined up. We're just gonna use a drill. We're gonna take it slow and hopefully not break the tap. Forgot to mention, when you're tapping, it's very important to break the chip, if that makes sense. So when you're cutting a thread inside of a hole like this, you're building up a chip in front of the cutting edge. So if you don't back off every 2 or 3 turns, you're not going to break that chip, and it could mess up your thread. So if you notice, when I was drilling, I went forward and I came back and I went forward. Very important to do that when you're tapping. It's easy to do it with a drill if you're confident. Otherwise, just use the tool or a socket or something that is a little more controlled. So if you're doing it with a drill, just take it nice and slow, break the chip, and you'll be good. So now that we're all tapped and everything, we'll clean out our threads. Now the bolt that holds this on is the only thing holding this yoke on, so we're going to use some red Loctite to make sure that stays. There's not a lot of force really pulling back and forth on this yoke. You do want to make sure it's good and tight and use some Loctite. The torque spec on it is 30 foot-pounds. Like I said, most of our movement's going to be in the slip yoke from the front drive shaft we're putting on. So it's the moment we've all been waiting for. We got the yoke on, we got it Loctited and torqued down. Now we're just gonna bolt the front drive shaft in that we picked up from the junkyard, get it all greased up, sit it down on the ground, and see how everything looks. All right, we're back down on the ground under the weight of the Jeep. Looking at the slip joint here, it looks like we have enough room to tuck and still have some room for that to collapse as we go up. We're gonna watch that when we're off-roading. We did modify the yoke to give us an extra bit of room to pull that up closer. And again, I wanted to mention, we do have a drop on the transfer case in the long arm kit, and we are only at 4 inches of lift. So ideally, you want no drop in your transfer case, and you want to be above 4.5 inches to run this kit. But I think the way we have it set up, we're gonna be just fine off-road, but we'll do some testing. We really don't want to be shoving that output shaft into the transfer case. That can cause problems. And the last thing I do want to mention, now that we have a double cardan drive shaft, ideally you want your pinion pointed straight in line with your drive line. There's a little room for variation on that. We're going to be fine. If you want to, you can add shims under your leaf springs to rotate that pinion up and get it in line with your drive line. I don't think we're going to have any issues. We're going to drive it, see how it is, take it off-road, tuck it, and check all this. We've made a lot of changes to this Jeep, so we're going to be checking everything when we're going off-road. Thanks for watching. That's all for our hack and tap video. Now, remember, if you've lifted your Jeep and you're having driveline problems or just want an upgrade to not have that issue in the future, a hack and tap's a good option over the SYE. Something to consider. This is how we did it on the XJ. There's a lot of different ways to do it. If you like the video, please like and subscribe and comment down below. It really helps us out. And thanks for tuning in.